More recently, Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out. You know, you have to look at the people. Many of them are murderers. Many of them are people that were thrown out of their countries because they were, criminals.
Well, you promised in your campaign that you were going to deport the worst of the worst. Violent criminals,
we're doing that.
Rapists.
Well, that's what we're
doing. But a lot of the people that your administration has arrested and deported aren't violent criminals. Landscapers, nannies, construction workers,
landscapers
farm
are
workers.
criminals. Yeah. No, look.
The family of U.S. service members.
I need landscapers and I need farmers more than anybody, okay?
Is it your intent to deport people who do not have a criminal record?
We have to start off with a policy, and the policy has to be you came into the country illegally, you're going to go out. However, you've also seen you're going to go out, we're going to work with you, and you're going to come back into our country legally.
And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids, in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will shew wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai come. Joel chapter 2. Verse 28 to 31. Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honor, so venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to Lord's elect, the house of David. It's a brother Aaron coming back at you with another lesson. Lord, let it be edifying and uplifting to the elect. And I have an article I wanted to jump into real quick. And it's going into pretty much Jacob's trouble. All right, but basically just looking at the forecast of so-called 2026, and pretty much all the cards are put out there to let you know that it's going to be indeed a time like never before. All right, expect to see the most craziest time. Expect to see the most wildest time. All right, which is all in line with end-time biblical prophecy of the chaos, the turmoil, all right, ultimately the tribulation. Okay, and if you didn't know, all right, guess what? DJ Trump, Nero 47, is definitely the man to bring in this prophecy of the MOTB, because as it stands, he's working very close hand in hand with these tech giants to bring about this surveillance state right here in America, Babylon the Great, and pretty much around the world. Okay, I just heard that he said he's going to be making war against Nigeria. All right, he's going to be sending some troops out there. So just like Rome, like the Roman Empire back then, they start to spread themselves thin. All right, because of all these different wars that they were waging. All right, with these different neighboring civilizations that was around them. All right, but here in the homeland, all right, it says the nation's largest employers are putting their workers on notice. Okay, and all these companies that are pretty much following the same trend, most of them is not really because of just financial reasons. It's all a plan. All right, they're mostly being bought out by these giant companies like Blackstone and BlackRock and State Street and all the other companies. All right, Vanguard and all of them. Okay, and once they take over, all right, they come up with all these different schemes to pretty much F the people. All right, it starts with, some of them started with the homing, come in and buy homes, very cheap. Okay, trying to say that they're going to fix them, renovate them, and then they put it back on the market and they bump up the prices about $800 more. A lot of families at this point can't afford that. All right, you can't go from, living with your daughter or with your kids. All right, you got a rent of $1,200 a month, and then Blackstone come in and buy up the whole entire property And now they say you got to pay $3,000 a month now. You know, so a lot of people don't have the ability to actually stay in these places, so they have to move. Okay, and then they same tactics they use with the home sector, the housing sector. You know, Arizona and many different states. They do the same thing with the healthcare as well. Right, the so-called healthcare. You know, they go in there. You know, they buy up a lot of these insurance companies and so on and so forth, and then they F the people. All right, they F the people. All right, so you going into the hospital, you know, your bill is like, you know, oh, we just did a temperature check. You know, you owe us $2,000. You're like, wait, what? Huh? You know, what's going on? Right, because these things are not being regulated. Okay, because the same people that will regulate are being bought out by these policymakers. All right, they're being given a lot of money to push certain, you know, unlawful behavior. You know, and the politicians who, you know, could possibly come up with bills and come up with a law to stop some of this fraudulent behavior. All right, they're also being bought and paid for. All right, and being supported. All right, when it comes to these so-called elections and power positions, they're being backed by a lot of these private companies. You know, BlackRock, Blackstone, and all of them. All right, you got to look into these people, man. Okay, that's our job. Our job is to highlight, all right, the evils that's happening upon the face of the earth and who's causing all this shit. All right, as it tells you in the book of Revelation. Let's see if we can get that real quick. All right, Revelation chapter 6, and start from verse 4. It says, "And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword." Okay, so that red horse represents the power. All right, the power of Esau Edom. Okay, and it's ultimately it goes through the three branches of their power, as is written in the book of Revelation, the 16th chapter. All right, the three spirits, the three unclean spirits like frogs. Okay, you have the financial power, the military power, and the religious power. Okay, so they use these powers to pretty much control the direction in which the world is going in. Okay, and every time they realize that people are waking up for a so-called revolution, all right, they come up with the concept of division, which then ends up in civil war, which causes a chaos that they can bring in a new order, and that's what you're seeing now. Okay, but part of it, all right, to bring about the chaos is this right here. Let's read. It says, "Major retailers Amazon and Walmart are slashing jobs amid a surge in artificial intelligence adoption, displacing thousands of workers in warehouses and corporate offices, according to a new Washington Post investigation." All right, so like I was saying before, you got all these owners, all right, who have power over these major retail corporations. Like, look at what happened to Toys R Us. Okay, I mean, damn. All right, remember Toys R Us when they went down and under back in like 2017, 2018, around there, and many different stores. Okay, think about that. Oh, those are all jobs that were being lost. Okay. I mean, we talking about all that. The whole thing was out of there because of devils like Steven Schwartzman. All right, look him up. Okay, Steven Schwartzman, man, damn devil. All right, so look into these people. He's I believe the CEO or / founder of Blackstone. Okay, so they got power, man. They have a lot of power. That's the Lord gave him that power. All right, pertaining to Job 9:24. It says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. These people are wicked as hell, man. All right, their job is to destroy. Okay, they're the son of perdition indeed. Okay, so they don't care about the average family or, you know, oh man, like they got all these billions of dollars. Why do they keep doing this? No, their job is not to make the money. Their job is to control the system via destruction. Okay, you're gonna see a lot more of these cities being hit with different so-called natural disasters and shit, right? And then soon after that, the so-called presidents will come out and make a speech and say, "Oh, we need investors to come in and help us and rebuild." Yeah, right. Okay, so let's keep going. It says, the report details how AI tools for inventory management, customer service, and logistics are automating roles once held by humans. Amazon, the commerce behemoth, announced 5,000 layoffs last month. And this said, I think there's a video I posted. They were saying that over almost 100,000 jobs were lost within a day. And you got all these warehouse workers, you know, standing outside because they don't have access going back into the warehouse. They can't work there. And then there's a video that comes later on during that same week where you got all these Amazon robots running around, working and shit. The Lord is gonna fuck this place up, man. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is about it. He's pretty much almost done with this shit. All right, he's about to F these people up bad. All right, both the civilians and these corporate oligarchs. He's about to mess them all up, man. Okay, that tells you that in the book of James. Let's see if we can get that real quick. All right, all this wickedness that's going on, this fraud, okay, that's being perpetrated upon the face of the earth is going to come to a stop. Okay, it has to come to a stop. There's a book of James chapter 5 verse 1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." So Steven Schwarzman, all right, what's that guy from OpenAI? Sam Altman. Okay, what's the other guy? There's a whole bunch of them. Larry Fink. Okay, Larry Ellison. Donald Trump, you on the list because you are the one who's opening the door for these devils to come in and do this shit. Okay, Bill Bates. Okay, what's the other guy? The guy from the owner of Elliott. See if I can pull him up real quick. Let me see. They don't like their identities and their names to be put out there, so we gotta put it out there. Okay, Elliott Company. Let me see. Elliott Group is by, I think his name is Paul something. Elliott Group owner. Something, I forget his name. I think it's Elliott. No, his name is Paul something. Paul Singer. There you go. All right, Paul Singer. You gotta look into that. Look into that whole ass nigga. And these people, they're all Jays. All right. Trump just he basically pledged his allegiance to the Jays before all of this shit started to go down. Okay, they're all Jays. It goes to show you that the top Edomite, all right, are the Jays really. Okay, when you look at Edom, like an actual Edomite, it's the Jays, man. Okay. It says, verse 2, it says, "Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten," because they're gotten through ill-gotten gains, man. Okay, you rape, you rob, you murder, you steal. Okay, you plummet, you plunder. All right, that's what you do, man. You come up with all these clever schemes to F people over. All right, they said that the percentages of Americans that are considered low income is about 98 million. 98 million out of over 300 million. That's like 27%. Okay, 27% of the American population, all right, is considered low income, and the numbers are gonna go higher come 2026, man. All right, that includes all you. I'm making $500 million. I'm making six figures. All them six-figure jobs are about to be turned to AI. Okay, and companies are saying, "Yo, you might want to learn about AI because it's coming fast." Over the past 3 years, you've seen how quick, all right, this thing has moved. So all these other jobs, white collar, blue collar, they're all going to be switched to AI. Okay, this is the brave new world in reality. Okay, you got surveillance everywhere, and you got people who don't even pay attention to any of these things. All right, it's like my man Klaus Schwab said. All right, Professor Klaus Schwab, he said this: the fourth industrial revolution is coming like a tsunami. Okay, and if you know anything about tsunamis, it's not something you can negotiate with. It just comes in and does what it does. All right, verse 3, James 5:3, "Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days." Ultimately, that's going to be evidence against you. You are the power of the earth. No matter how much you try to hide it, it's anti-Semitic to say that we own everything. Yeah, no, but you do own everything. So where's the lie? Right? You can't say that we're lying. Okay? You can come up with all these names, but you can't say that we're lying. Okay? The truth is a witness against you. Your whole self is a witness against you. You are a witness against yourself. All right. So continuing, it says, going back to the article. All right, it says, Amazon, the commerce behemoth, announced 5,000 layoffs last month, targeting fulfillment centers where robots now handle picking and packing. AI isn't just efficiency, it's elimination, quote, said Sarah Jenkins, a former Amazon warehouse supervisor, laid off after 12 years. Okay, so you thinking you putting all this work in, helping this company, guess what? When the time comes, they don't care about you. Okay? It's a machine that's making the decisions. So it doesn't care about you. And if machines are making decisions now, and these devils are telling you that machines are going to be pretty much running the world, what does that tell you? Okay? This is literally what John saw as a beast system. It's ferocious, it's unforgiving, it doesn't give a damn who's being affected by whatever is being happening or is happening there at that time. Oh, you're losing your job and you got 7 kids and you got to take care of them and you need this job to take. It doesn't matter. You out of there after 12 years, after 21 years, after 30 years of service. You out of there. Okay? And that's how it's going to be when the MOTB comes out. There'll be no mercy. So expect no mercy. Okay? This is where you got to gird up your loins and deal with the scriptures talk about the tribulation, right? It talks about a time like never before. But this is where you got to lay on faith, man. All right, lean on faith and run on faith. Okay, that's the only thing that we're going to have is faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai to get through these times. Okay? And the Most High loves his elect, so he's going to take care of us. I mean, we're not worried about that. But just to see the things that's going to be happening, right? A lot of people are going to be, shook by these things. You don't got a home to live in. You don't got a house. You don't got a car. You don't got a job. It's like life is hard. Okay? And it gets harder and harder by the day. You ain't got no food. Right? They're saying that the SNAP benefits is a possibility that they could bring it back and stuff. Guess what? They're going to bring it back with requirements now. Okay? It's required. You have to work or you have to meet a certain standard of living in order to be qualified for it. Right? And a lot more people are going to be on those benefits. And then eventually it becomes the UBI. Okay, the universal basic income. This is all the plan that's unfolding. Okay, 2025 was the setting up of the stage for 2026 and on. Okay. So Project 2025, I did a lesson on this a couple of weeks ago. Look into that. Project 2025 is what you're seeing now. Okay, and it's heavy. Oh shit! I just remembered. I had a dream about Stephen Miller. All right, that's a spirit. It was so random, but I had a dream. I think it was last night or this morning. All right. And I had met him. I don't remember what the scenario was, but it was kind of like being caught up or being arrested or some shit. And he was there. Okay, he was there, and I let him have it. I told him, I said, "Yo, man, you bitch ass nigga, your wife was on TV saying this, and that. Have you seen that video?" And then he got irate. He got mad, and he was looking at me. There was a lot of people that like kids and shit like that, and he was mad. He was like, "You are the reason why I gave that speech. It was people like you. I talked about the dragon. You are the ones who have woken us the dragon and and all this extra shit." Like he was angry. Looked at me like he was pissed. He was all red and shit. And I was like, see, that's a sign that your kingdom is done. You out of here. Okay, you out of here. All right, you are out of here, man. So Stephen Miller and all the people that work with him, guess what? You niggas is all out of here. All right, and your fuck ass hoe ass threats ain't gonna shake nothing. Just so you know, it don't shake nothing over here. Okay, you don't know who you messing with, man. All right, and Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to show you devil something very soon. All right, so keep playing. Keep playing. All right, this game is about to really start kicking off. Keep playing, man. Okay? It says one day you're training the bot. The next day, it's your replacement. Yeah, machine learning. Machine learning. Because they'll pay you to train them. Like they said, this robot that comes to your house to help you, Optimus, whatever. Right? What's it called? Shit, I forgot the name. Prime or some shit. It's just like these robots are, going to be coming to people's homes and they're begging you, like, oh, pay $20,000 so that this thing can come into your house and, imitate the things you do in your house so that it can make our products even better. It's like, damn, a double F you at that point. I'm going to pay for a robot to come and surveil my house and watch what I do and how I clean my room and put dishes away and shit. And then later on, it can make the product better. Yeah, last time I watched this movie, iRobot, it was similar shit. A robot army turn on the people. Messing up your kids and shit. Stomping you out at night. Get out of here, man. It says Walmart, the nation's largest private employer, cut 3,200 positions in supply chain operations, shifting to AI-optimized routing systems. Okay, remember last year, the whole, the truckers that went on strike? The longshoreman strike thing that happened? And they were pretty much mad because of AI automation taking their jobs. Okay? And remember, it kind of came to a standstill, and it was like, okay, we're going to bring it back, and because they weren't ready. All right? These corporations were not ready to let the people go just yet. They need you to keep training these AIs. Okay? And then once it's good, you all going to be laid off all at once. All right. It says these changes allow to serve customers better with fewer hands. Walmart spokesperson Amy Thompson stated in the report, defending the moves as necessary evolution. Okay, but she's benefiting from that. That's why she's saying that. Okay, she's a spokesperson, but she's gonna be laid off soon. When they use AI to replace her ass, she's gonna join the crowd just like everybody else. Okay, she's gonna be in a long line with her kids looking for a piece of bread, but you gotta have that C-hip to get that. All right, and I remember it was 2 years ago, I had a dream about that, where you had long lines. I'm talking about lines, bro, on the streets everywhere. And you have people going to get the C-hip in order to be eligible to get those requirements that I was talking about. Oh, you need to meet these requirements in order to get this. You need to do this in order to get that. It eventually led to the MOTB, and the whole system was messed up. And in the dream, I was in the spirit, like flying over the lines. It's like a drone, just flying over the lines and watching people. I saw people that I know, people I went to school with. You know, the image was a man with his children just standing there. It looked sad. You know, niggas got carts and shit. Niggas got bags. You got old women slanted over. I'm like, damn, the poor, the old, the young, it doesn't matter. Okay? From little children to the oldest people who are about to croak in like the next couple months, they were all part of the people online looking to walk into these buildings to get their C-hip so they can get some food. Because it's C-hip, and then you go to the next line to get the food, and then you leave. So it was literally just like that. You have to get the C-hip on the spot and then go get your food after that. And people were doing it. All right, it's like they were doing it. It was the C-hip was like a currency for them. It was like, okay, once I get this currency, then I'm eligible to get the food. That type of shit. You know, so it was happening everywhere. Long ass lines, man. All right. It says here, economists warn of broader impacts. Retail employs 15 million Americans. AI could replace or displace 2 million jobs by 2030. Lord willing, we don't get to 2030, but this is the projection. Okay, this is the projection of the so-called future of how the system is going to be. So what's going to happen to all these people, all these jobs? Okay. It says noted labor expert Dr. Elena Vasquez. Now, you notice a lot of these people doing the talking is mostly women. Lately, it's like the past decade or two, you know, as soon as they start putting women in these power positions, all hell started breaking loose, man. You know, they went from wicked niggas that were fomenting the plan, these wicked ass Edomite rich niggas that was fomenting the plan. And then once the plan was fomented, they put the women in these power positions to really accelerate these plans. All right, because they're not problem solvers, bro. Naturally, women are not problem solvers, man. So when you put them in that position like that, where they gotta go to meetings, and it's like they play a role. They try to imitate power roles, but they're not really powerful like that. They can't, it's not within them to do that. It's not innate. You see what I'm saying? That you don't have a woman that's in a CIA and she's like commanding men. And it's like, it just looks so wrong. You know what I'm saying? It just looks crazy. You know, because her ass is not going to be on the battlefield. Her pretty ass is going to be in the offices telling other men what to do. You see what I'm saying? It's like, what is this shit, bro? You know, everything is emotional. You know, she try to be tough. She try to act tough and then fuck everything up. You know, fucking up morale. Everywhere you go, when you have women who are in power positions, the morale is mostly fucked up. People don't like the jobs. People hate their jobs. Oh, yo, everything was fine, and then the guy got fired, and then they replaced it with some butch looking bitch that pull up, and then now she just fucking everything up. She coming up with all these dumbass policies. We're gonna do this, we're gonna cut this, we're gonna cut that. Motherfuckers losing jobs, new rules at the job place. Everything is just changing. Sensitivity training at an all-time high. Men don't really care too much about that. Women come in and they gotta do sensitivity training, sexual harassment training, this training, that training. It's like, yo, come on, man. Safety this, safety that. But yeah, ain't nobody safe. You notice that? They're all pushing all this safety bullshit, but ain't nobody safe. It keeps getting worse and worse and worse. We're pushing for safety, and yet the troops are storming the streets. And there's going to be a lot more. All right? They're setting the stage. They're literally encamping around America. Okay? All these troops being sent into these different cities and all that is to get them ready to foment that civil war spirit. That's what's coming. All right? They are doing it. They are planning it. They are actually causing this. Is all agitation propaganda. Okay? And we said that from day one. Trump is going to be the guy to bring all this shit in place. Okay? Yeah, you people are deceived, man. A lot of people are finally waking up. This guy Trump, I'm finally waking up to the fact that he lied to us and all. Hey, it's too late. It's too late. Okay? It's too late. It It says the analysis drawing from internal memos and worker interviews reveals both companies accelerated AI investment post 2020 investments post 2024 recession. Post 2024 recession, prioritizing profits over payroll. Okay, that's every company, bro. They're all prioritizing profits over payroll, and this is the most amount of money they've made ever. I believe with every dollar that a worker makes, the owner or CEO makes over $300. Okay, so think about that disparity there. All right, and this is what they expect you to just live off of. Just make it happen. Just make it work. Workers like Jenkins are pivoting to retrain programs, but access remains uneven. The promise of upskilling feels like a consolation prize, she added. Okay, and I think that's the end of the article. But again, this is just a sentiment of what's going on in America, man. There ain't no jobs. All right, healthcare is just taking a hit. All right, you're getting ready. If you're in New York, get ready for this. Zoran Mamdani, whatever. All right, this guy Mamdani, he's coming in, and he's basically, man, the brother Bakar been saying it, like he's that controlled opposition to really spark that civil war. Okay, so get ready, man. Get ready. Okay, you got people saying, "Oh, this nigga is, he's gonna be winning the vote. Gen Z is gonna be voting for this nigga," and I'm like, "Oh, what the hell does Gen Z know? All they know is they're gonna bring their own demise. All right, they're gonna bring their own demise, man. But this is all the days prior to judgment. All right, the times of tribulation are almost here. Okay, I don't know. They are here. They are here. Okay, they're not almost here. They are here. Okay, but it intensifies. It gets worse. Okay, it gets worse. All right, so let's finish off in James 5, verse 4. It says, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who have heaped." You see, who's the hire of the laborers, man? Okay, the same laborers that's written of in the book of Job, the 20th chapter. All right, going into what? The wicked. But in the Hebrew is Imal, which means what? Laborers, workers. Right? So behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. Right? They do that with these corporations. They will go into your country. Right? I forget what country, Somalia or something. They got like diamonds and stuff. These private companies will go over there. Okay, hire the people or some of the people that are willing to work in these diamond mines and shit, and then they'll just extort them. Hey, we'll pay you a little bit here and there just so you can give us some diamonds. Okay, so we can come over here and sell it for millions of dollars. Okay, and then they'll go in there and then they'll be like, oh, you know what? Let's help the people out. How do you help the people out? Well, we're just gonna create a new road right here in their town. But you're not really helping them. They didn't ask for that. Yeah, but we're making the roads to benefit them. No, you're making the roads so it's easier for you to travel to go to those diamond mines. But yet you make it as an excuse. We're going to help the people by fixing their roads. Bitch ass nigga. It says, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud." Okay, they cheated you out of your pay. They cheated you out of your lands. They cheated you out of your living, your health. Okay, they lied to you. They told you this is safe and effective. You went and took it. Now look at you. You're at their beck and call. You are at their mercy. You do as they say. If not, you can't live. You can't survive. It all culminates with that hit, point blank period. Okay? So kept back by fraud crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Okay? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai has heard our cries, man. Okay? And judgment is coming. Okay? Judgment is coming. It says, "Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth," and that goes to you elites, okay, and have been wanton, okay. You've lived in luxury, satisfaction. You've satisfied all and every desire you may have to the point now you say you want complete and total raw power over humans. Okay, you want to come up with this concept called One Health. Everything has to be, considered. Not just the people's health, the animals' health, the trees' health, the water's health, the air's health. Meanwhile, you're destroying it all. It's devil. Okay? It says, "Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter." Okay? You have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. All right? So here's the time, man. Okay, but this is what we're waiting for. Verse 7. "Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord." And that's fast approaching. Okay, "Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain." Okay, so we're entering into that time, man. Okay, we want to wait for the Lord to come back and get his valuable harvest, which is ripened, which is going to be the elect. Okay, which is going to be the elect, man. All right, so let's get that, and then we're going to close it out. All right, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and start off at let's see, verse 29. All right, it says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And that's the time where the fruits are ripe. Okay, the end has reached its fulfillment. Like, this is it. Like, that's it. It's over with. And the Lord Yahweh is going to give that command to Yahushua, because Yahushua doesn't know the day all the time. Okay, he does know the signs, like, yo, Lord, just like we see the signs. The same signs Yahushua gave us is what he knows. Okay, when you start seeing these things happen, because that's what the mission, that's all part of the mission. And those who are part of the mission, you got to know, we're in the same military, we're in the same army, so we got to plan everything accordingly. So Yahushua gave us the blueprint of what's going to happen 2,000 years later in the mission, and that time is now. So we're seeing those signs that he gave us. All right, when you see this, this means this. When you see this, this means that. This is next, and this is next, and that's next. And then after this, you want to see me coming. You don't know. You're not going to know the day or time, but it's going to be in the midst of all these things happening. So just be on watch. Okay. So verse 30, Matthew 24 and 30 says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Okay. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds. All right, the harvest. Okay, the gathering of his elect. Okay, from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. Okay, so this is what we're waiting for. All the shit that we're about to go through ultimately culminates with those who are of the elect getting delivered by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, so let's end it off with this here, and we should be out of here. All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, and let me see. Revelation chapter 7. Let me see. There you go. There you go. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 14. It says, and I said unto him, Sir, thou know. Let's start off at verse 13. It says, and one of the elders answered, saying unto me, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence they came? Okay, that's symbolizing purity. Ultimately, a symbol of the elect. Okay, those who are delivered. All right, and prepared for the groom. All right, the bridegroom. Verse 14, it says, and I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, these are they which came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes. Because remember, the angels go around and deliver the elect who came from that great tribulation. We actually make it through. Okay, Yahushua delivers us from that. As he says in Revelation 3 and 10, he's going to keep us from the hour of temptation. And that's all you need. Okay, he's going to protect us. He's going to hold us. He's going to watch over us. All right, he's going to deliver. He's going to protect. He's going to provide. Okay, provision. All right. It says, these are they which came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and have made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of the Most High, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. Right? That was going back to the time when we were in the fields. Okay, slavery and all that. All right. It says, for the Lamb, which is in the midst of the throne, shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and the power shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. That's Revelation 21. Okay, so that's all a culmination of that deliverance. Okay, when we get delivered from up out of here, man, it's going to be, wow, what a day. What a day, man. Okay, but that day is fast approaching. All right, that day is fast approaching. You got all these rumors of wars and all these different things that's happening. All right, so we're definitely in those days, man. All right, and it gets worse. It gets worse before it gets better. All right. So anyway, I'm going to leave it off there, Lord willing, you edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachakodash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, and until next time, Shalom.